Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of Trustology. My name is Irene Cook and I am your host. And today I have a special guest. Her name is Heather Dawson. Heather, welcome to our show.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm great.
Good. Excellent. Heather is a success story of Get You Fit. And actually, there's kind of a double story here because one thing we didn't talk about is you did do the program years back as well.
I did.
I asked Heather to be a guest on our show because she entered a milestone year this year, having just turned 50. And as many of us go through life struggling with weight and wellness, this came to no surprise to Heather, who found herself in a situation of an imbalance with her weight and wellness. So as she stumbled through life, she also stumbled across a program that I was offering in January. So I'm gonna let Heather kind of give us a little background on how her weight and how her wellness was going up until that point, and maybe a little bit of history on background that led her to seeking out help in January with a weight loss regimen.
Sure. Fantastic. So my weight and my wellness have always been very important to me. Eating right and exercising has always been a part of my life. And I have been part of your program starting several years ago. And at some point or another, life got in the way, working, my kids, their schedules. And so I thought I could still kind of do it on my own. And, time goes by, weight comes on, and we found ourselves in a pandemic, and my oldest twins graduated from high school. And, when looking at pictures of myself from their graduation, I just realized, nope, that's not the person that I want to be. Being in a pandemic, trying to use the resources that I had to exercise, eat right, didn't really see a lot of progress. So that was May 2020. Fast forward to, June 2021, I had finally lost a little bit of weight, probably about 10 pounds. Still trying to eat right, still trying to exercise. And then again, fast forward a little bit to January, and your program, I came upon it on Facebook, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do this again. I need to just, I was turning 50. I think that my metabolism was sluggish. Some personal history, getting divorced. So a lot of different things, kind of juggling a lot of balls. But again, my wellness was important to me. So I did your, jumpstart, and that kind of kicked my metabolism back into action. And the weight started coming off again, continuing to exercise. And now I'm just, incorporating more of your tools and your workouts. And here I am.
Yeah, fantastic. And what would you say the biggest eye opener was for you in going through this process this second time around? And if you don't mind including, how much weight did you lose?
About 35 pounds.
35 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing was the balance, the food balance, eating the right amount of protein, carbs, healthy fats. That for me is where I started to see the biggest improvement.
Okay. And so prior to this, you had said that you made some attempts to lose weight on your own. What were you doing? What types of strategies were you using that were not as successful?
So, I was using my Fitness Pal. And so I've always logged my food. I've always kept track of how much food I'm eating, how much water I'm drinking, trying to work out, probably focusing more on cardio than, any strength training. And even though I was staying within my calories on my Fitness Pal, I didn't have the right balance of the right foods. And so I was hitting a wall. And so I love my Fitness Pal, but if you're not eating the correct balances of the right foods, for someone who's older, I don't know, it just wasn't working for me. So that's exactly what I needed. And that's what your program gave me.
And you are also a very busy person. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your life, what you do day to day? And because I know it can be very overwhelming for people that are wanting to start out in trying to embrace the process and incorporate all of this into their world.
Sure. So I'm a nurse practitioner. I work full time in a pediatric office, so we're very busy. We have been very busy since the pandemic started. So knowing that and knowing how a day can be where I do get a lunch every day, but sometimes I'm working through my lunch. So for me, I do have to plan I have breakfast at home, but I do make my lunch and I bring it to work because if I don't, it'd be very easy to just run out to, you know, Taco Bell or, get what I think is a healthy lunch from Taco Bell. And when you do that every day, that adds up. And that's, going back to probably 2019 into early 2020 I was probably doing more of that. So I make my lunch every day. I do work full time from August through May. I also teach at Harper College as an adjunct nursing professor. So I'm busy, but I've found the right balance to continue to be successful. And the
Yeah.
results are motivation enough for me.
Fantastic. And because, we work well together and we've worked closely together, I want to include this because I think a lot of people, when they start a diet, the motivation's high, and you can recall in January, you were very in tuned to all of the elements of the program, but then life gets in the way, and clearly anybody starts to kind of separate a little bit from the intensity of the program itself. Can you kind of talk about how you were able to maintain your motivation even without being fully involved in all of the elements needed with the program itself, meaning, the seminars that I offer and the podcasts that I offer and even the workouts. We didn't start that until a little bit later. Can you kind of talk about how you were able to fine tune all of that?
I mean, I think the motivation for me was how I felt. I felt good. I was sleeping better and my clothes fit better. So I was going to work, and I'm also, as a nurse practitioner, a big part of our job is health and wellness and prevention. And so when I'm talking to patients about, parents about the right diet and how to incorporate the right foods to their kids' diet, I have to be living that as well. I have to be, doing what I'm saying that what I'm telling people to do. I can't just say it and then not do it. So part of my motivation is myself as a healthcare provider. And then just being able to text you if I'm falling off or I'm like hitting a wall, I send you a text and you kind of, bring me back in. So it's nice to have that accountability, right?
Yeah.
I do get on the scale. I probably get on the scale 5 out of 7 days a week. And so for me, that does rein me back in. If I've gone out, then trying to balance my dinners is my biggest challenge right now. So again, that daily weight, sending you a text reins me back in and kind of gets me back on track.
Now, did you weigh yourself regularly like this prior?
I did, probably not as often, but it's still, doing my fitness pal. I liked to see where my weight was. So I did weigh myself regularly just because, again, that for me, that was a way of, okay, I'm 2 pounds up. So I need to bring back in like what it is, what am I doing wrong? Am I bringing something to lunch, or did I not bring a lunch for that week? So yeah, I think I have to be better about meal planning in the evening, but my breakfast and lunch are consistent. And I drink a lot of water. I drink probably 80 to 100 ounces of water a day. So that's always kind of been my staple.
Yeah. Now, one thing that's kind of coming to my mind is your birthday. And you turned 50 this year, which was a big milestone. And I vividly remember this because it was end of January. And I remember that specifically because you share a birthday week with my son. But I remember this because you were teetering on dropping into the next decade. And if you're just listening and you don't know what that means, I refer to when a member drops down into a next tens digit as celebrating the next decade. So if somebody drops from the 180s into the 170s, it's a decade celebration. And so Heather was about to drop into a new decade, if I'm correct, around her birthday weekend. And we had lots of celebrations, and you know, as a coach, I'm looking at this as this person is got all these events lined up, but wants to see the scale drop. But we need the special balance. And so do you remember this conversation, this text conversation that we had?
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about how you were able to approach that weekend and balance and the big picture mindset of what you are being taught with this realistic, sustainable mindset of get you fit?
Right.
And truly, since then, you're down another 15 pounds, 20 pounds.
Yeah. Going into that weekend, it was definitely a weekend, you know, that I had been looking forward to, turning 50. And my sister was coming in for the weekend. My girlfriends and I, we, you know, went downtown. We had this, you know, celebration planned, and I didn't want to, you know, I have been successful up to this point. And so part of me knew, okay, I can go out and I can still live and I can still have fun. And if I want to, you know, have something to eat that I probably wouldn't have eaten, then I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I did that. Going into that weekend, I still ate my normal breakfast in the morning. I still, you know, tried to eat, you know, a balanced lunch, but I knew that going into my evening that I could still go into my evening and have fun, knowing that it's just a day and it's not going to set me back. So I think by that time in this journey, I was starting to believe that I could go out and have fun for a night, celebrate my birthday, and it wasn't going to set me back. It was just a day that I was taking to celebrate for myself. And I think psychologically, like, I need that every now and then to just go out and just, usually my body tells me, okay, you can't eat that. And I usually don't eat as much as I think I'm going to eat anyway, because now I'm used to eating a different way and my body stops me. So I probably, you know, if I order, you know, something that I wouldn't have normally eaten, I'd probably eat about maybe a half to 3/4 of it, and then I'm full. And I use that and I just follow what my body is telling me, and then I'm done.
Absolutely. And I vividly remember after the birthday weekend, you only gained a pound. And I remember you thinking, oh, I only gained a pound, which then was just temporary because it dropped. So you were able to navigate through that all and still get to your goals, and then some. So I think that's a really big lesson to learn. I think a lot of people have a really big issue with only setting a goal and focusing on just that number instead of seeing the big picture. Because here you sit, where are we at? 6-7 months later, and I have to share the pictures. And Heather shared some pictures here, and I'm gonna share them really quick. So this picture here, if you guys can see this, is Heather. Heather, can you see this too?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was in, you said this was at your kids' graduation?
Yeah, so like May of 2020.
Okay. And so this would have been at your start weight.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, we were just talking about this. I knew Heather then, and would never guess that this was 30 some pounds. But here we have her. Where was this at?
That was June of 2021.
Okay. And then this remarkable picture was just the other day.
Yeah.
When you were clearing out your closet. So what a huge change, change. Can you tell me a little bit about the workouts and incorporating the strength training?
So the workouts have been great. I have, you know, I just recently moved into my new house in March, and so trying to get a room set up where I could do the workouts took a little bit of time. But now I've been doing the Empower workouts, and they do kick my butt. But that's good. It's a good thing, because each time I do them, I get a little bit better at them, and I still kick my butt. But it's a good thing. And then, so I try to do those, the videos, at least the video workouts at least 3 days a week. And then I try to throw treadmill in there, a couple days too. So, and I feel now I'm at that point where I feel bad if I don't work out. Like I'm like, no, I got to work out. So I'll come home from work. If I don't get up in the morning to work out, I'll come home from work after work and do, a 25-minute, empower video. And there's really no reason not to, is, kind of the big lesson for me is I have time. I have plenty of time to sit down and watch a show. So I have plenty of time to go and do a workout. And so I feel bad now when I don't work out, which is a good thing for me. Like I need that, continued accountability to
And-
continue working out.
Yeah, and the mindset shift
Mhm.
is,
Yeah.
is remarkable. And one of the things that I have always tried to incorporate in members is the understanding that exercise is important, but the things that you get from exercise, the energy that you get, that feeling of feeling good is what you're saying that you're feeling from these workouts. And that is truly the piece that is going to keep you going. So I absolutely love that you are enjoying them and that you are wanting to work out for the intrinsic reasons of working out.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if I were to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how motivated do you feel to maintain this? How motivated do you feel to keep this path going?
Oh, a 10, without a doubt. A 10.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I'm not going to go backwards. And I think that the direction my life is going, I think that, weight gain can happen for multiple reasons, comfort. And probably for me, that was probably a big reason of why I gained weight, 2.5, 3 years ago. And I'm not going backwards. I like the way that I feel. I'm 50. I feel fantastic, and it's just going to get better.
Absolutely. And with what you just said, I think it's important to also mention the struggles. Have there been struggles?
Oh, yeah.
What struggles can you share, and how were you able to overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that just the day-to-day struggles of trying to, be a single parent and managing my kids and still working and now managing a household, like I still feel food is a comfort for me. So there will be days when it's like you have like this internal battle with your brain. Like, should I have the bowl of ice cream because it'll make me feel better? Should I not have the bowl of ice cream? And then if I choose to have the bowl of ice cream, I feel okay about it because I don't overdo it. Did it make me feel better? Maybe not, but I still had the bowl of ice cream. And I still, the next day, went back on to continue my current routine of eating right and exercising. So I don't let that get in the way again. Whereas in the past, I probably did let food get the best of me, but it's not anymore.
Fantastic. And how do you cope with the fluctuations in the sense of if the scale does go up?
Right. So I think what I learned from you is you can weigh yourself in the morning, and what's in your body is going to account for some of that weight. And so I think recognizing those little, like a pound or 2 pounds, because right now I probably fluctuate between, 1 or 2 pounds, up. And because I'm struggling with my last 3 pounds, which is okay. It's a struggle I'm okay with. But yeah, how I overcome that is I don't let that number get to me, because I know I've come such a far, I've made such a, progression from 2020 till now that it's just a number. I feel great. And if I keep doing what I'm doing, and, you're holding me accountable, and I text you, and it's good. So I get through that number.
Which is fantastic. And you're 50. I know earlier you had mentioned, and I think we all do this at a certain age. We think, well, I can't lose weight because of my age. And you have a medical background even. And so, whether that it impacts your influence to think that even more so. But you have shown that no matter at what age you could lose weight. You went through an extremely stressful time going through a divorce, then moving, and now you're kind of going through some exciting times. You're back to dating. And so how much do you think that this has impacted your confidence, your ability to get back out there? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, going shopping with my daughter, she really helps keep me motivated, and I feel good. I wear things that I would have never worn, a year ago, and I feel good about it. And I like the way I look, and I go out with confidence, and I am dating. So I go into that and I feel good about the person that I look, how I feel. And it's a whole package though. It's my mind and my body, and definitely increased my self-esteem.
Fantastic. And I just have to ask, because I know I have a lot of listeners that would appreciate this. You mentioned your daughter as a medical provider and a parent, and your daughter's in college. Any feedback on what the ripple effect has been for your kids in watching you kind of go through this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's motivating. I don't think, and I don't have them all with me and all at the same time, but they've definitely seen the the motivation and the time that I put into it. And I'm hoping that does eventually, ripple down to them. And I think it is. So it's been a short period of time that they're back with, that my daughter's with me. And I think that just my what is the word I'm looking for? What she sees me doing, I'm hoping that she's going to take that into her own practices as well, as far as eating and getting active.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, you're definitely an inspiration, that's for sure.
Thank you.
And so on final note, if you were to give a message to somebody that might be listening who's nervous about starting, and I think you've probably talked to patients all the time who want to start, but there's that fear of failure, fear of lack of confidence to get started. What would you say? And not even including, the fact of my program, just in the sense of getting well, getting healthy, getting going on bettering their health and wellness. What advice would you give to somebody who is in that position that really wants to get started and is worried about it?
Right. I mean, I would say trust the process, but be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. I could have thrown in the towel many times, as much as I was eating right and exercising and the scale wasn't moving. I didn't give up. And so trust whatever process it is that you're choosing to follow, trust the process, because it really does work. The balance of the correct foods, exercising right, getting enough sleep at night, it all makes a difference. But it definitely takes time. But just to stay focused, and you'll get to your goal.
Fantastic. Well, like I said, I'm inspired by you. And I think the last time we worked together, you were going through your schooling for your practitioner.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So you are a driven woman, clearly, and now you definitely not only changed yourself physically, but your metabolism has changed, and that is clear. You're 3 pounds. I would consider that you've met your goal. But you're going to keep going at this, and you're going to stay strong. And I can't thank you enough for sharing your story. Any final thoughts, final notes for anybody?
Thanks for having me. I am very appreciative to you and your help that you've offered, and you really do offer the motivation, and you're a great cheerleader, and you're there. So for your, clients, or for anyone who feels like they're bothering you, we're not. And you've shown that, and I appreciate that so much. So thank you.
Thank you for saying that, because that is one thing, and I've always told members, you're not bothering me. And my services for my program, I'm all about awareness. I'm all about that accountability piece. And as Heather has told you, there are many struggles throughout this, but it's a matter of figuring out the ins and outs and learning how to navigate your way through it all. And just like anything else in life, once you figure it out, it becomes your own. And just like my wall says here, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you again. And I again look so forward to continuing working with you and seeing your continued success and progress.
Thank you.
Thank you.